All right, Shalom, Shalom, Yasharala. Back at it again with another Lord with an edifying video through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. Before I go any further, I want to give all honor and all glory and all praises to our Heavenly Father and to His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. And next up, double honors to our apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who still go out there in the highways and hedges and feed us with 100% truth according to the Bible and Heruel and Shalom, Labachorim, Wabarakim, Shaya Sharala, which is peace and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel and the Lashon Kodash, the Hebrew tongue. And pretty much the name of this lesson is going to be called The Characteristic of E, or Sleazy. All right. Now we know who that's referring to when we say sleazy. All right, it's referring to Esau, Edom. All right, which would be the so-called white people, what they call themselves today. So the inspiration of this lesson is coming from me, reading through my sword. You know what I'm saying? That one of the characteristics of Edom stuck out to me, which I'm about to read. So the first precept is the book of Exodus 17. Let's see, in verse 8. It says, "Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim, Rephidim, all right? Which we know Amalek would be the so-called the 48ers. You see what I'm saying? The 1948ers, all right? That's who they are. That's who their biblical nationality is, which they goes back to a name, they descend from a man named Esau, all right? So I'm going to read the commentary right quick. It says, the Amalekites were descendants of Amalek, a grandson of Esau. It says they were a fierce Nemaic tribe who lived in the desert region of the Dead Sea. Now I looked at the definition of the word Nomaic, right? The definition goes back to wandering. All right, wandering. Now keep that word in mind right there as I go to the book of Genesis, the 4th chapter, and I'm gonna start the 13th verse. It says, "And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear." And this is going back to when the Lord took the pigmentation away from Cain, right? And it says, for murdering his brother Abel. Verse 14, "Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me." Now the key word that I want to focus right there is a vagabond in the earth, right? So I look at the definition of the word vagabond, and it says a person who wanders from place to place without a home or a job. So this is this also proves that Cain came back as Esau in the reincarnation, because I'm reading about the head tribe of the Edomites and their characteristics. All right, we'll read this again. It says they were a fierce Nomaic, meaning wandering tribe, who lived in the desert region of the Dead Sea. They made part of their livelihood by conducting frequent raids on other settlements and carrying off booty, which we know booty is treasure, right? It says they killed for pleasure. See, they killed for pleasure, man. They get off on bloodshed, man. See, that's the characteristic of these Edomites, man. All right, these so-called white people, beginning with their elites. All right, they love bloodshed. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it. Yep, this is the book of Thawadi Yabashima Shah. This is the book of Ezekiel 25. Let's see. Let's start at verse 5. It says, "Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred," which the word perpetual meaning continual, ongoing, right? And even back then in the book of Exodus, and as I'm reading, and it says to this very day, "And has shed the blood of the children of Israel," the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, as well as the Israelite foreigners, by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity. All right. And it says, in the time that their iniquity had an end. It says, therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, it says, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. And I just read in the commentary that it says they killed for pleasure. So they get off from bloodshed, man. But they messed up by putting their hands on the apple of the Lord's eye, the children of Israel. All right. And it reads on, Slakia. And it reads on, and it says, and blood shall pursue thee, seest thou hast not hated blood, meaning bloodshed, to get kicked out of bloodshed, even blood shall pursue thee. Right? See, so it's going to come back around on them. All right? And even back during the time of Exodus, they still got to pay for that. Warring against our people coming out of the land of Egypt in the wilderness, man. You know, they got to pay for that as well, because they're back in the reincarnation in these times, making war with our people in these times. So back in the commentary, it says, they killed for pleasure. One of the greatest insults in Israelite culture was to call someone a friend of Amalek. It says, when the Israelites entered the region, the Amalekites saw this as a perfect opportunity for both pleasure and profit. You see, now tell me that it ain't these Edomites today, man. All right, promoting that spider juice, man. They get off on the destruction of our people, seeing our people suffer, and they making profit off of it. They making hella money. All right, and it says, but this hostile tribe was moving on the wrong people, a people led by Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, the Israelites. It says, starting with the elect in these times, it says, for the Israelite slaves to defeat such a warlike nation was more than enough proof that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua was with them as he had promised to be. Like I said, that's starting with the elect on this side. All right. That's starting with the elect, because the Lord is with the elect. He ain't with the whole nation of Israel. All right, the 2/3 of our people are going to get wiped out, and the Lord is going to allow Esau, Edom, the so-called white people, to get down on our people for their wickedness and disobedience. So now let me grab one more precept. I'm going to close it out. This is the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Let's see here. I'll go straight to the point. Verse 5. It says, yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, which that wine would be his false philosophies, right? His lies, his democracy. He is a proud man. This is referring to the Edomites, all right? It says, neither keepeth at home, right? See, they're all over the world, man. They got their military bases all over the world, trying to tell these other countries how to conduct and run their country, man. They're not a keeper of home. They are wanderers. As I read, one of the characteristics, right? Who enlargeth his desire as hell, all right, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. See, of all the things that he got in the world, the resources, the money, the power, they still ain't satisfied. The bloodshed is never enough for them. It says, but gathereth unto him all nations, even heaveth unto him all people, aka that's why they call this place the melting pot, because all the multitude of nations are in this one country, and this country is circling down the drain, man. You see? So the characteristic of Esau, Edom. All right. So Lord's willing, that was edifying through the spirit. Lord's willing, until next time I say shalom.